These 8 teams won't be needing a paid artifact to one-shot, starting with the Flawed Justice team. Peacemaker is the core of this team because you are going to need to stack peace stacks with Peacemaker, then you tag in your main damage dealer, which could either be Hawkman or the Rock Black Adam. Now, the key thing you need to know, number one, is that your Peacemaker should be at the very least 5 stars. Yes, you need to have at least 5 stars. I'm saying this because I currently have a 4 stars Peacemaker, and 4 stars Peacemaker, it comes close sometimes it's far off, but the time to stack those peace stacks takes way too long. You're going to be using over 30 seconds to stack up to 20 peace stacks, and by the time you tag in your main damage dealer, you still don't have a long enough time in that your high damage mode. So I would say if you have a 4-star Peacemaker, then just don't bother with this team for now. Try and get your Peacemaker to 5 stars. At 5 stars, you still need like 2 maxed out artifacts, like 2 level 10 of the current solo raid artifact. As you can see, one of the God Killers is on Peacemaker, the other God Killer is on Hawkman, then you have the Zatanna's Puppet on the Rock Black Adam. So yeah, you need to have at least 5 stars Peacemaker, and even when you have a 5 stars Peacemaker, you need 2 maxed out artifacts. But the higher the stars you get on your Peacemaker, the less artifacts you're going to need, which is why by the time you get to this level where the Peacemaker is already on 7 stars, the peace stacks move so fast that you're going to be able to make up that damage that you don't have on a second maxed out artifact. So I would say by the time you have a maxed out Peacemaker, you will only need 1 maxed out solo raid artifact. However, your match is going to be getting towards the end. You're going to be getting towards like the last 10 seconds of the match to one shot. For this match, you'll see that it only took 2 minutes to one shot because we had 1 maxed out artifact and 1 level 7 solo raid specific artifact. So yeah, but if you have these things in place, either a 5-star Peacemaker with 2 maxed out artifacts, or you have a 7-star Peacemaker with 1 maxed out artifact, within that range, you are going to be able to one shot with this team. Of course, make sure you have a solid Zatanna's Puppet, at least, I would say at least level 3 to do the most damage, at least level 3 on your Black Adam. And your Black Adam doesn't even need to be maxed out. I think if you have a 5-star, it's just there to do damage. So if you have a 5-star Black Adam, I think you are set to do the maximum damage with this team and one shot. Your core focus should be Peacemaker. For this next match, we're going to be looking at the Mortal Kombat team. Now, this is on that team that normally won't be able to one shot, but Mortal Kombat team have 2 solo raids where they are guaranteed to one shot when you have maxed out artifacts again. Now, in this particular solo raid, the last contract solo raid, you are going to the main artifact for this solo raid is the God Killer, not the God Killer. Yes, okay, yes, it's the God Killer. What am I saying? Yes, it is the God Killer artifact. That's the free artifact you get from this solo raid. To have the maximum damage or the optimal gameplay with free artifacts for the Mortal Kombat team, you need to have dark metal cards on your raiding, and you need to have God Killer on your Scorpion. Then you need to use the Justice League Flash to give you that 1 extra fast attack hit as the 3rd team member. He can have any artifact. The issue with that is that in most solo raid, if you have dark metal cards on raiding and you have God Killer on Scorpion, it means that you only have space for 1 solo raid specific artifact. And unfortunately, the solo raid specific artifact, even when maxed out, is not going to be enough to one shot with the Mortal Kombat team with for free to play. Of course, there are better club gameplays. I don't know if I've shared any, but probably will be sharing that in the coming days. So you will need 2 maxed out solo raid specific artifact, which is why there are only 2 solo raids where this team is feasible, where you can use this team to one shot and use this team to complete your 6 free to play teams. In this particular solo raid, the last contract, the solo raid artifact is God Killer. So you can have 1 God Killer on Scorpion, and you can have the other God Killer on Justice League Flash. Now, there's another solo raid, which is the Dark Knight solo. Is it Dark Knight? Yeah, Dark Knight or Darkest Night, something like that. Solo raid, where your reward is the Dark Matter cards, and where the main free artifact is the Dark Matter cards. That solo raid, you can now have your Dark Matter cards on raiding and have a second maxed out or almost maxed out, like maybe level 7, level 8. Almost maxed out Dark Matter cards on your Justice League Flash. So in last contract, the Darkest Night solo raid, where you have Batman Who Laughs as the main boss, those two solo raids, this team is perfect for one shot. But this is going to be one of 2 occasional free damage dealers on this list. And like I said, the list is 8. So on this list, there are 6 that, yes, in any solo raid, as long as you have decently leveled artifact, you are going to be able to one shot. And there are 2 that are seasonal. This is the first seasonal we've had on the list. With the Peacemaker team, that is not seasonal. You can just go straight with that to one shot on any solo raid. Now we have Mr. Freeze. You will notice that the ideal team for Mr. Freeze is usually having Zatanna and having what's this character's name? The Rock Black Adam. But if you're in a situation where you have like a 5-star Peacemaker and above, so you either have a 5-star Peacemaker, 6-star or 7-star Peacemaker, it will be a waste to use the Rock Black Adam in this match. So you are better off using the Rock Black Adam with the Peacemaker team to form one of your free one-shot teams, and then you use Deathstroke on this team. Deathstroke is a very easy character for anybody to get because you only need to have him on 3 stars. That's what is amazing about this character. You just need to have Deathstroke on 3 stars and he will do the complete health reduction for you. And I believe when you even have 2 maxed out solo raid artifact, you don't need to use Deathstroke. You could also use Classic Wonder Woman. I don't know if I've actually done that. It feels like I've done a video like that, but I actually don't remember. But the thing with Classic Wonder Woman is, yes, although technically you could use Classic Wonder Woman, it is not advisable for an ascended Mr. Freeze. So if your Mr. Freeze is not ascended, then yes, Classic Wonder Woman in place of Deathstroke with 2 maxed out God Killers or 2 maxed out solo raid specific artifact. I believe you could one shot there, but with an ascended Mr. Freeze, Classic Wonder Woman has no effect. So yeah, Deathstroke is still excellent in this match. So I would say yes, for ascended, go with this. For non-ascended, you could try Classic Wonder Woman in place of Deathstroke. I don't know if that will work because I know that even when my Mr. Freeze is not ascended, I still use Deathstroke to one shot. So Deathstroke and Zatanna puppet, not Zatanna's puppet. Deathstroke and Zatanna are supports, then Zatanna's puppet on Mr. Freeze, and this team would one shot for you. Like I said, it's better off you use the Rock Black Adam if you don't have Peacemaker, or you have a Peacemaker that is less than 5 stars. If your Peacemaker is 4 stars, don't waste Peacemaker on that team. Don't waste the Rock Black Adam on that team. Just bring the Rock Black Adam to this team, and you'll be able to one shot. And yeah, that's basically that for this team. I hope, I don't know, I think most times when I see most people's Mr. Freeze, it's usually like 3 or 4 stars. So I think with the rates at which I've used Mr. Freeze on this channel, I would hope that this is one of your main focus in this game for free damage dealers, because many other characters don't need to be maxed out, but Mr. Freeze actually needs to get to like at least 5, 6, I would say 6 stars and above, up to Ascension. So I would hope that Mr. Freeze is one of your main focuses in your while building your squad, because yeah, he needs to have the maxed out star ratings to actually shine. Yeah, anyways, that's for that. The next team is a very popular team, or I hope it is popular, because I really don't see you guys use this team a lot. I know more of you guys prefer to use Raven with League of Anarchy, and while that works, you are better off using God of Steel, Girl of Steel Supergirl instead of Raven, because you need Raven for another free-to-play team. If you are using Girl of Steel Supergirl, you are going to get your 400% damage boost, and once you get that damage boost, you are going to spam your Zatanna's puppet, which is on your EPI, your Entangling Poison Ivy. Then of course you do the basic attacks with your Harley Quinn, Heartbreaker Harley Quinn. Now, one thing to note in these matches, and one thing I love for this team actually works in all solo raids, but it's perfect for this solo raid. That's because you are going to be using the God Killer, which is the free artifact for this solo raid, on your Girl of Steel. What that does for you is that it makes it even easier. I know it is relatively easy to activate with other artifacts, but for this solo raid, it makes it especially easier to activate Zatanna's Puppet, because you are getting an extra negative effect from God Killer, which you don't get from the other free artifacts. So yeah, in as much as, yes, you could, there are strategic ways to activate the Zatanna's Puppet early in other solo raid. In this particular solo raid, it is way easier, guys, way easier, because of the God Killer artifact. You don't need to have any particular strategy. You just find that your Zatanna's Puppet is getting activated so easily. Yeah, so yeah, that's for that. This next team is a team that you guys, I don't think this team needs much of an introduction, and this is one of the OG teams. This team made my list of 4 teams that can one shot without solo raid specific artifact. So if you want to know more about that, you can check out my last, I believe that was my last video. So yeah, shouldn't be far to find out. Yeah, just check the list of my videos. I think the one before this or 2 videos before this, something like that, you'll see it. So anyways, this team doesn't even need the solo raid specific artifacts to one shot, but in this case, we're going to be using it. We're going to use the God Killer on Metal Team. That's God Killer on Batwoman the Drowned. She's essentially the Metal Team anyways. We're going to use God Killer on Batwoman the Drowned and Zatanna's Puppet on my Robin King. You will notice that I didn't use any artifact on the last hero, John Stewart's Green Lantern. That's because I don't need it. Once you have one God Killer, which also is the solo raid specific artifact for a solo raid, it's enough. But I could, because I have 2 maxed out God Killers, I could have used that, and in the matches I use that, the match is usually over in 50 seconds or even less sometimes. But I just wanted to show you guys that yes, you can actually use one. You can actually use, well, I won't say you can use 0 not in this case, because the solo raid specific artifact is still our main artifact, which is the God Killer artifact. So yeah, in this case, this works. Just one maxed out God Killer, and in fact, I dare even say it doesn't even need to be maxed out. I believe if you have like a level 5 God Killer and above, almost all matches should be easy. But if you are fighting a very strong boss, that's on that team, God Killer artifact needs to be highly leveled up. Now that I think of it, because the higher the level, the more damage you are stealing from the boss. So it weakens the boss, and you're going to be able to do way more damage than you would do with like a level 1 God Killer artifact. So that's one artifact too. In this low rate, try and get as much materials as you can to upgrade your God Killer. Very, very important, not just for this solo raid, but for every other solo raid you're going to be fighting with the Metal Team, which is basically every solo raid, and even in league raids and even in arena, every game mode, Metal Team is important. Now, I decided to add this one too. This is the second team. I had mentioned the Mortal Kombat team earlier. And on that team, I said that they are a seasonal team because they are only primed for a free-to-play one-shot for this current solo raid, which is the last contract, and also the Batman Who Laughs solo raid, Darkest Night or Dark Knight solo raid, where you get Dark Metal cards. So those are 2 solo raid. But in the case of Black Manta, there's a different caveat. So you can use Black Manta in any solo raid that has Aquaman. You just need to use Twin Blade on your Black Manta, and yeah, the passive takes care of itself. And you see that I didn't even use any relevant character. I know that yes, Bane gives me some damage on basic, but honestly, I could have put Scarecrow there and it would have not made any difference. So yeah, against Aquaman characters, Black Manta goes crazy. It gets extra 300% damage, and it's a multiplicative damage, not an additive damage. So the 300% damage you're getting is times 3, not a plus 300 or plus, yeah, not a plus 300 like as the Zatanna's Puppet's passive. So this one is actually going to multiply your damage. So yeah, it's really strong. If you have Black Manta and you have an Aquaman boss to fight, then yes, that is the place to use your Black Manta to one shot. The next team, appropriately, is the King of Atlantis, Aquaman. And this team is the reason why I had said don't use your Raven with League of Anarchy, because it can be very, very tempting to use your Raven with League of Anarchy. But that match is going to be over in 30 seconds. And you're going to spend most of that time stacking darkness. Once you've stacked darkness, it's game over. So while yes, it's very tempting to just 30 seconds, 40 seconds, one shot, regardless of the artifact you have, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, one shot with the League of Anarchy team and Raven. I would say for the sake of having a complete 6 teams that will one shot for you with free to play artifact or freely available artifacts in the game, you should use your Raven with King of Atlantis Aquaman and use the twin blade on Aquaman. So this team, it requires, I don't want to say it requires skill, because I guess somebody that just started playing this game may not know how to properly use this team. But what you use here is the block tagging method, where when you notice the way I'm tagging in, I tag in my Quam, do some basic attacks, then tag in Raven, do special one. Then once I do the special one of Raven, I've already tapped on what is his name, King of Atlantis Aquaman to tag in. Even though he's not yet ready, his timer has not run out, but I will just tap on King of Atlantis Aquaman and I will hold block. So holding that block while waiting for Aquaman to tag in, we make sure that the boss doesn't block and the boss will actually attempt to do some basic attacks. And in the middle of doing that basic attacks, I will tag my Aquaman is tagging, and I will interrupt them and continue with my own basic attack. That's essentially how block tag in works. I did another video explaining it. You could search Harambe block tagging. I'm sure that will bring a good result for you. But yeah, if you still have any question about that, you can ask in the comment section. But that's essentially how it works. Just you're essentially tagging in your King of Atlantis Aquaman immediately after just doing like 2 hits. So okay, let me just do a bit of explanation on that, since this last video doesn't really need much of an explanation. The only thing I would say is that for this last video, if you have already used your Black Manta elsewhere, especially against an Aquaman, you can just use classic Wonder Woman in place of Aquaman here and you are set. Anyways, back to block tagging. Let's just do a quick run of block tagging. For block tagging, you just hold your block on tagging Raven, do 2 hits, 2 basic hits, and do special one, then tap on Aquaman and hold your block. So while holding your block, Raven is blocking, Aquaman is going to tag in and interrupt the opponent. That's all you need to know about that. Anyways, if you enjoy my videos, have any questions, comment section, smash the subscribe button. I will see you guys on the next one.